Hello, pick makers and sheep punchers. This is JuryDutySummons, and welcome back to How to Play TerraFirmaCraft. In this episode, we're going to discuss how to smelt ore, and we're going to take a look at some of the early ores we're going to get. And let me pull up. I found a few. So if you've been running around knocking cobblestone off of the ground, picking up the cobblestone rocks, then you're going to get a lot of things that look at this. So small castrolite, small bismuth, small sapphirolite, whatever the hell that's called. So finding lots of these. So keep anything you find, of course. And when you get to about 2 or 3 stacks, then that's a good time to start smelting. If you are unable to find any, I will cover how to take care of that in a later video. But for now, I'm going to assume that you were able to find some. The next thing you're going to need is to find clay. Clay is often found near water, and but I wouldn't be too concerned if you have a hard time finding it. It's often difficult to find. If it is completely covered in grass, it's actually really rather hard to tell whether something is clay or not. So bring a shovel with you and go exploring. So this soil, it looks like I don't know, it's kind of weird ice cream, I guess. This is what clay looks like. Finding a too high cliff is always good because it does show the clay, but if it's one high and there's grass on both sides, it doesn't show. So let me knock this down. I'll show you what I mean. So keep an eye out. We're going to need clay. Getting about one full stack of clay is about all you need to start off with. And just remember where it's at or mark it on your minimap if you are using a mod that has a minimap on it, like Race Minimaps. Okay, so you've collected a full stack of clay. What you're going to need to do is make a shape like this in a crafting bench. Each set of 5 clay is going to make 4 molds. Now, you're going to need quite a few molds for what we're going to do, but about 8 is good enough to start with for now. There's no other use for clay, essentially, so don't feel like you must necessarily save it. I'm going to grab a castrolite as well. Bismuth, yes. Alright, so after you have gathered some clay, you're going to need some wood. Hopefully you have collected quite a bit of wood. The type of wood does matter to a degree, but for now I have ash collected, so we're going to make do with it. It doesn't actually... The type of wood affects how hot the fire will burn, which will change how fast it takes to smelt your materials. The difference is not a big difference, but later on when you'll want to look for more hardwoods. So hardwoods burn hotter, softwoods burn cooler, I guess, for a short amount of time. So anyway, so we're going to reload these fires here. This game really does reward you for thinking in terms of, what's it called, in bulk, rather. So I'm going to relight all these fires. So I created 8 fires because I think that's a good number to manage. So let's see what's going on here. Alright, so the fire is warming up. We're going to throw a couple more wood in there. The clay molds, to make a clay mold into something that you can use, you need to cook it in the fire first. So I'm going to do that with all of these. There we go. Okay. This first one's almost finished. I think when it gets past very hot, it will cook all the way. Nope, guess not. This just takes a minute. Oh, yep, faint red. Just after faint red, star 1. You get a ceramic mold. Go ahead and just leave that right where it's at. What we're going to do is we're going to select an ore, and we'll do bismuth first. Of the basic ores you'll find on the ground, bismuth is probably the best one to work with. Actually, let's, bismuth, that'll work. Now, when you're placing your fires, it's a good idea to keep the fire out from a wall. when the game is determining how hot to make the fire, it looks at the air surrounding it. The more open air it has around it, the hotter the fire will burn and more efficient it'll be. Okay. So we'll watch this one. Now that all the fires are loaded, you see why I did that is you can do a lot more. And this whole smelting process takes a while. So if we just make it quicker, life goes on. Life is a little bit easier that way. So there we go. It's now liquid. Since we had the mold here, it fell into the mold rather than disappearing. This little damage bar across the bottom tells you how much you have in it. And right now I have a special option turned on that shows me the durability, so that's 6 out of 100%. So we're going to keep adding these here. There we go. So we're nearly done there. So you just keep this up using all of the ore you have until you smelted everything. I think it's just after very hot. It's a good idea to pay attention and remember at what temperature something melts. So at very hot, 1 star. So at very hot, after 1 star, it melts the liquid. So that's very important to remember. That means that's done. So now I'm collecting, since I'm out of ore. Yep, there we go. Since I am out of ore, I'm now collecting these. You may want to use shift click to pull these out, but it's not, for some reason it doesn't work very well. Okay, so now I have a bunch of these. So they're all sitting there liquid. Not very useful in this current shape because it's not full. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these and we're going to put them with something to catch. We're going to remelt them into one mold. So though, since it's already very hot, that should only take a few seconds. So there we go. We got the mold back and it melted into that one. We'll keep doing this until that one's full. I'm actually going to put a second mold there just in case we have a little bit of spillover. Alright, we're nearly done. We have one last one to fill. But you notice this one at the bottom has lost its bar across the bottom. That means it's completely full. So what's going to happen? Well, it's going to spill over to this one over here instead. Why am I going to do that? No reason. Let's not do it at all. There's no point to it. You'll notice that sometimes these won't stack. Like those two right there, they won't stack. That has to do with the temperature. Oops. Another vanishing. That's weird. A little buggy sometimes. Some of my molds vanish. That's special. Not a big deal. So anyway, that's how you smelt. I have one right now. Well, what the hell do you do with it? We'll be covering that in a future episode. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments field, and have a great day.